Hey there, it's Chris, and welcome to the local track over here, where this wasn't quite the video I planned on putting out, but you know what? We're gonna do this anyway. So, as you've known from before, my main training plan right now is to get myself ready for the Spartan Super over the Tri-State in about 2 or 3 months from now, end of October. So, why am I here? You would think like it's a 10K distance, it's gonna be more kind of an endurance type event going through that, but in the last several years, most of the stuff I've been doing has been kind of ultra marathon distance, the Spartan Ultras. I've done half marathons. I've done a lot of these kind of distance races. I'm not gonna lie, it has been decades since I've done any kind of speed work whatsoever. And this type of race, it's gonna be flat. It's gonna require speed to get through. So I need to start relearning some of this again. And one of the things I've mentioned before, way back when I first started that Vernon Ultra, the Vernon Ultra playlist from like almost a year ago, back in like last Thanksgiving, was on kind of goal setting and how we can go about creating a training plan to go through one of these. And part of this is creating little mini goals along the way. So we don't just have the one go from your starting point to the one big at the end. You make little mini goals along the way to kind of keep you on track and let you know if you're doing what you want to be doing. And you can adjust these depending on this, as this situation arises from here. So one of my little mini goals on this, my first mini goal on this, is just getting a time on the 400 meter dash. I hated this one in high school. I was more of a distance runner. I did it a couple times. I think my fastest time was a 59 second. So, and my little mini goal on this is get myself down to a 70 second again. And this is kind of the first little go at it here officially. I've done a couple on the road. This is my first actually on a track. And we're just gonna see what we can do on this. So it's a starting point. I'm not expecting to get the whole way there, but as I heard on actually Black Clover of all places, that anime, the shame is not in being weak. The shame is in staying weak. So again, this is a starting point, and the goal is then not to stay here, but over time, over the next few weeks or months, to get this to go faster and faster as we go. Now again, this is just a stepping stone for what will then be additional goals we added on to this. But at least I'm going to start with the shortest distance, then kind of work my way up from there. So give me a few minutes. We're going to kind of set things up, do a little bit of warm up, and we're going to get right at this. All right. With that, I'm set up. We should be ready to go. Got my watch going. Let's go and see what this mid-40-something-year-old can do. All right, and we're off. And for like the first 100, 150 yards, actually it's more like 150 yards of this run here, I'm running on the balls of my feet. I have my hips are tilted forward. I'm following like the correct strategy for sprinting stuff and what we're supposed to be doing this. So at this point, I'm still doing good. I'm still feeling nice. We can go and we can do this. 20 seconds, and then right around here, we start to fall apart a little bit. I'm off the ball on my feet. I'm now starting to look more like a distance runner. My hips have now come back down. I look like a distance runner sprinting, and I'm starting to get tired at this point. And yeah, coming out the back turn, my entire form has now fallen apart, and we're starting to get to that point where I'm sucking wind. This is not going so well, but I can now see we're at the home stretch. I see it. I'm trying to tilt my hips forward again. It's kind of working, kind of not, but I know the camera's running. And we're going to see if we can finish strong on this. We got to get this. Well, apparently my watch never started. So I'm not gonna know what time it is until I get back home and look at this video. So I raised my hand when I crossed the finish line, so I'd have a time to go off of on the video. There's a reason I didn't race this in high school. Quarter mile sucks. I got about 300 meters, then the body was just like, nope, we're done with this. Last 100 was not good. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it here. I'll probably get back to you at my place. So that was unexpected. So in my lead up to this race here, to my run here, fastest I've done on the road was a 75. So getting a 69 on this attempt here, well, mission accomplished. We did it. we take these. So yeah, so what I want to take this into back when I had first starting out, the start of this little segment here was on the goal planning part, in that this is just a piece of a larger system we're going to have in place going forward. So when I'm looking at this race, the first thing you do when you want to set your goals is find out what's actually really important for the event that you're going to be going towards, whether it's like, again, academic, music, sports, whatever it is you're interested in. What are going to be like the key components to accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish? In this case, it's going to be roughly an hour-long race I'm going for. I will be going for this one very competitively, so I want it to be around that probably hour-ish mark. And so that's going to be a combination of the endurance and speed sides in this. I'm going to say quickness sides. And I'm coming from a background from the endurance part. So I will be touching base with that, but that's not what I'm going to be focusing on right now because that is my background. So I'm going to be using these sprints to kind of get me ready for this. But again, the sprints in and of themselves aren't going to be the goals I'm going for this. Part of what we need in this, being it's a Spartan race, is they're going to have the 25 or 26, whatever obstacles they're going to have in there, is you're going to get your heart rate up going over each obstacle, and then from that point, you need to go and then do a run to the next thing, which will then bump your heart rate up and go to run. So part of this is just to, build up the quickness that I can do what I need to, but part of it is just kind of getting the heart used to going in that elevated range. And then later on, once, let's say, end of the month or whatever, I want to actually start making the transition to the next phase, is once I get my heart used to doing this, used to going up in that upper zone 4, maybe a zone 5 stage kind of in there, I get what it feels like, then we start kind of adding in like the ladder workouts or whatnot, where we start kind of repeating these types of things or repeats. I do like 200 repeats, maybe 400 repeats, something like that, where you go really fast, you throttle back, then you go really fast, throttle back. Once we get the heart knowing what it feels like to go fast, then we can start working on kind of throttling the range from up, down, and then get used to that part. So this is just kind of like the baby steps into the next place along the way, which then also leads into when you're making your little mini goals, don't do everything all at once. I keep staring at my computer rather than the camera. It's becoming a very bad habit for me. Sorry about that if my eyes are always going the wrong place. But this is one of those things, if you try to now practice everything at once, if you want to like practice speed, you want to practice endurance, you want to practice like your quickness off of doing like a high heart rate thing, and then bring it back down. If you start kind of layering all these things and going out all these things at once, you're going to get overwhelmed. And the problem with that is then that will lead to the burnout, which you saw in the last segment that I popped out there on the burnout part. That is one surefire way to burn out quickly. So one thing I like to do is I tend to stagger how I get into each of these separate elements. So right now I'm going to start like these first like maybe 2-3 weeks are just going to be, I'll do like a single quick sprint. It could be like another quarter mile thing, which now that I've hit my 70-second goal, I guess I have to set a new one now. But I'll do that. I might jump into like half miles. Let's go a little quicker, use this to get a little faster on those. And I can use these as stepping stones, just as individual parts to get the heart used to going up. After we get through that, then we can add the next segment onto that. We're going to be slowly building our distance out as we go. So right now, for like this first month and a half or so, distance really isn't going to be a huge part of this. But after we get through that, then we start practicing throttling the heart. Go fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. After we get kind of through that, then the distances pick up. Now we start adding the distance element into it. And kind of each step kind of then builds on top of the next. We don't need to do this all at once, because like I said, that's just a recipe for disaster in terms of planning stuff. But yeah, that's really it. If I missed something, I probably put it back. If you go to the Vernon Ultra playlist that I put out last year and had the whatever my goal setting and goal planning and all that, I may have put some more stuff in there than I did here, but this is kind of coming off the top of my head. But wow, today was actually really good. I wasn't expecting that time. That's awesome. It's nice to know I still got it. So, whew. But yeah, no, that's all I want to put out this time, and not sure what's going out next time, but until then, enjoy.